Yeah, we're on. We're live.
Beautiful. These damn kids don't want to go to sleep, man.
EJ from Argentina.
EJ. Oh, I can't wait for basketball props from the farm, or parlays from the farm. I mean, I will say I'm playing at about 70% right now.
Hey, at least you're playing.
I've been dealing with 2 sick kids, and it's been a nightmare.
Damn. Do they both go down at the same time, or is it staggered?
Nobody fucking knows, Nick. Nobody knows. It's a fucking free-for-all here.
Evan about 12 years old by now.
No, Evan's legit, but he's just a little sick, so it's a little bit annoying. Oh shit, I forgot. This is like my oh shit. This is 8 years with 8 years I've been doing real estate. Exactly today. And you get $100 for every year you've been with the company, so I just got $800. That was nice.
Lit. We're about to gamble that away.
I am so fucking hot gambling. It's ridiculous. Last week was incredible. You had a pretty good week. Or would you go 1-1?
1-1, yeah.
We'll get to it. Oh, call for tonight. I'm all in on McLaurin tonight. I got him anytime touchdown. Anytime touchdown. First touchdown and over 59.5 yards, and I'm starting him in 2 fantasy leagues.
Well, shout out to you, because that was going to be one of the questions for the Dean, and you're going to be mad. You're like, it's a Thursday night game. That don't count.
You fuckhead.
So now the question is gone. Let me X that one out.
Let me see. What's that line at? Oh, my God. It went down to 50. Yeah, McLaurin. Fire on McLaurin. He's going to go off.
It was going to be McLaurin or Adam Thielen. Who do you like better?
McLaurin.
For the season, yeah. McLaurin, easy.
Brendan. Me and Brendan got a big matchup in our big league. I'm undefeated in that league too. I got Brendan coming. He lost Chubb though, so I dodged that bullet there. Chubb was about to have such a big season. Oh my God, he's so good,
bro. And do you see the hit that the dude put on him? Like my Instagram.
It was kind of dirty.
Yeah, dude. The guy, there was no shot. He wasn't going for his fucking knees. It wasn't even an ankle.
I start Devon A-Chain or Ramon. I think he means Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah, I would start A-Chain. A-Chan, whatever his name is.
And yeah.
Yeah, Ramondre missed a practice, and the Saints D just is pretty damn good.
Plus the Patriots offense, every part about it is just whack. So
yeah, Mac Jones is the worst.
So I got a teaser that's before 1 p.m. So I teased tonight the Commanders, and I put them with the Bills. So you get Bills plus a half, Commanders down to pick them on a teaser if you want a before 1 p.m. teaser.
Oh, what? Oh, Bills Commanders?
Yeah, because Bills play 9:30 a.m. in England.
That's gonna lose somehow. That Jacksonville game is just fucking weird,
bro. So they're camped out in England, so there's no time difference for them. They just came off a good game.
Something fishy's going on with that game.
The Bills just came off a season-defining win. We'll see.
A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Puka Nacua. That is a delightful trio of wide receivers. Well done, Lee.
No, but okay. I thought he wanted it as a question. Just showing off. All right, Lee. Young blood.
Todd's in the building. What's good, Todd? Jordan Todd, not the other. Okay. No, not that Todd. Different Todd.
All right. Shout out to you.
All right, we ready to start?
Yeah, let's run it.
All right. Podcast. Oh, hold on. Rerun it. What podcast are we on? Is this 6? Week 5?
It's week 5, podcast 6, as far as
this is, as is tradition. All right. Week 5 NFL. podcast 6 of the year, Nick and Bean Pod. What a time to be alive. Nick, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm hydrated, ready to go. Week 5.
Beautiful. I'm just making sure I have my mic going. Make sure your mic is your input source on your laptop. As always, we are brought to you by Diet Smoke. Do I have to keep doing this, Nick? The best stuff in the game. Delta 8, Delta 9, THC, pens, gummies, vapes, sodas. I mean, they've got everything. And it's just the best product. I mean, like as you know, I don't write anything down for this ad read because it's that good. I can just talk from the heart. It's the best stuff in the game. It's all I use. I know you use it on a daily basis. It's light. It's just right. You can still stay on your game. You can still podcast. Look into Nick's eyes. It's the best stuff. It really is. Diet Smoke, code Nick and Bean, 20% off. E on the end of Bean. Always remember that. Let's
the gummies are delicious.
Go ahead.
Delicious. Yeah, like you said, Delta 8, Delta 9, and they even came out with this other thing. It's like THC, and then there's some code behind it. I don't know the number. It's like TZZ or something.
It's fire.
Tap into that. Yeah, tap into that.
It's the best. So let's recap a glorious week. I mean, this was the week. Rod is here. What's up, Rod? Appreciate you, brother. This is the week I was telling everyone about, where I saw the board last week perfectly. Everything I did worked, okay? We took the bet of the week, the Cowboys over the Patriots, -6.5. They beat them by 1,000. They might have ended Mac Jones's career. It was incredible.
People are talking like it.
Exactly. The Bears +3.5. They were up by 100. They lost the game by 3, but we were never in doubt of covering. My teaser was scary. We had the Eagles almost blow it, but they came back and won. Ravens won outright, getting 8.5 points. And the only bet I lost, the Panthers, they were winning the whole game, and they somehow lost. Bryce Young, my boy, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
But it's not like all on him. Like it's not all on him.
I know. But he just looks so small back there. So I am a little bit worried about him. On top of going 3-1 on my bets, I was 6-0 in fantasy. I have 5 4-0 teams and 1 2-2 team. It's fantastic. I know you had Nick almost had a perfect 4-0 in fantasy, but he played me in one league. How'd that go?
Yeah. I thought I had it in the bag. I'm up. I had David Montgomery. I was up like maybe 35 to something stupid, projected to win. I have Joe Burrow at quarterback. He puts up like 4 points. You have AJ Brown, Puka Nacua go off. It was an epic comeback.
I think you were projected to win by like 45 points during the 1:00 games.
I'd be interested to see what the percentage was. I had to win like 85% or like 70-something% to win.
Yep. And Lee, shout out to Lee. CJ Stroud is looking good. That is a preview for the impact players. And the only thing I do want to so you went 1-1 in your bets and 3-1 in fantasy.
Yeah.
Got it. So still a really good week. And the only thing I want to mention before Lee thinks CJ Stroud should have been drafted first. Well, I don't think you're alone at this point. It is still early, but Stroud looks fantastic. Funniest thing I saw this past week before we get into impact players was I don't know if it was Bleacher Report or one of the betting sites had LeBron do an Instagram live Sunday morning giving out his picks for the week, and they promoted his 2-team parlay, which was the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals or something like that. Or it was Cleveland and someone else, and they both lost, and they were terrible picks, and it was hilarious. But shout out to LeBron getting in the betting game.
Exactly. I mean, I can't hate it. Everyone has losing picks every once in a while. Was it a parlay?
Yeah, it was an 0-2 parlay. So that was glorious. So great week last week. We're going to look to continue that this week. So why don't you lead us off? Yeah. Nick, I'm going to shout you out right now. I am reading our notes before this pod. Yeah. It looks like you put in the work this week. Start us off with Josh Allen, the #1 impact player. Yeah. Who's on all my fantasy teams and at the same time was destroying my personal team, the Dolphins. Give us some stats. I know he had 5 total touchdowns, 4 throwing. He was incredible.
Yeah, so he had 4 throwing touchdowns, like Bean said, 12.8 yards per attempt, which is huge. 21 for 25 passing, which, I mean, bro, he basically didn't miss. 320 yards, 158.3 passer rating, and then
that just so you know, 158.3 is perfect. That's as high as you can get, and it was the first time in his career he had a perfect passer rating.
Yeah, that's nuts. So yeah, throughout the season, on top of that, their defense is running out maybe like sixth in the league. So that team is looking unstoppable. They gave the Dolphins that work this week. It was like big brother paid little brother. They had some heavy packages running with those two tight ends, Kincaid and Knox, which looking like against our nickel defense or something like that. Our guys just looked way too small to tackle them. And then they had Latavius Murray, who's like 230 pounds. So we really saw what that heavyweight can do.
Yeah, Stefon Diggs torched our second corner, Kohei or Koho, whatever his name is. We really need.
Corner, though.
Yeah, is he second? Well, with Ramsey out, he might be.
Yeah. Right now,
we could use Ramsey back, but that was an absolute shellacking by the Bills. Took it, and you heard it in the Dolphins locker room a lot. I think Tyreek said it. I think a couple other people said it. Kind of brought us back to earth. Might be good in the long run to take a loss like that and really step back and say, all right, we're not unstoppable. Clearly, we really got to play good football against these really good teams to have a chance. Tommy in the building, Romy Rome in the building. Felix says bench Joe Burrow.
I don't hate that. I think they should have did that like 2 weeks ago. They lost anyways.
You're probably right. Brendan, you're spot on there. It was the Bills wanted it more. They played perfect. They smacked us. It's all good though. You take the L and you move on. Let's get into the second impact.
I believe Josh Allen is probably the favorite right now for MVP at this point.
I have it in my head. Josh Allen plus 300, Patrick Mahomes plus 550, Tua plus 600.
So if you want to bet Mahomes right now, might be your time. If that's what you want to do.
I mean, it's never a bad bet to bet Mahomes. He's always right in it at the end. So, and his best football's ahead. So,
Josh Allen's going to throw some picks down the all season.
For sure. Josh Allen, number one on the impact player list. Before we move on, EJ, he just came in and said it. Bills number 2 in yards per point, Nick. He stole your stat.
Let me fact check that, my friend. 1 second.
Fact check that while I move on to our second impact player of the week. And Lee was on this earlier, but they're fourth in yards per point.
In yards per point at 11.3.
Got it. They're fourth in a stat that means nothing, that no one cares about. Perfect. All right, CJ Stroud, our second impact player of the week. Lee, I think everyone agrees with you right now. He should have been the number 1 pick. He's actually a Carolina guy, and it felt like when the Panthers moved up to 1 that he was going to be the guy. They did end up taking Bryce Young. It's very early, but right now, obviously, it looks like Stroud's the best quarterback out of the draft. Even I can admit that. Nick, give us the stats from last week. He was fantastic.
Yeah, so CJ Stroud had two passing touchdowns, 10.2 yards per attempt, 16 for 30 passing, which really isn't that good. 306 yards at 111.2 passer rating, 16 yards on the ground, and 0 picks, which I think is pretty big for a rookie quarterback to have 0 picks. They're 2-2 on the year, and then Houston is top 5 in the league in yards per pass per attempt, which means that the team is trusting him to throw down the field. He's not throwing and completing a bunch of dinks and dunks. Well, we kind of see that with the 16 for 30 on the game. But
I mean, who thought they would smack the Steelers like that? Nobody. I mean, he looked incredible. He's got the second most yards through 4 games in history. I think Cam Newton was number 1. He's number 2. Andrew Luck was number 3. He's got that presence about him. And he actually was in Impact Players last week. So it's a 2-time in a row that we're highlighting him. And you have to, because you got to give the guy his respect. DeMeco Ryans seems to be a great head coach. He was on Part of My Take this week. I caught a little of the interview, and he was talking about how you got to work with the guys you got. And he said CJ Stroud's the first one in, the last one out, studies tape. You know, he's just really been flawless through 4 games, and no one would have thought the Texans be 2-2 right now.
Right. So the Texans might be one of the most shocking teams of the year. Like, there's some teams, maybe we can go through it later, some teams that you're like, you thought were going to be amazing, like the Bengals, that are underperforming, and then teams like the Texans or even the Cardinals, who we thought were tanking, who they're not a great team or nothing, but like they might be just below average, where we thought they were like outlier bad. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Texas is one of those examples where we thought they were going to be a piss poor team. Then there's probably more about average.
Couldn't agree more. I see Tommy's got a question. Did you reply to Tommy here?
I did, but Lee, what's good with the Steelers, brother?
Oh, is Lee a Steelers guy?
I seen him posting on his story, and they are just looking trash. Somehow they're 500. I don't know how, and we'll see how it plays out the rest of the year.
Tommy's asking McLaurin or Kupp. You answered in here. You're not positive if Kupp plays. Tommy doesn't really have that luxury to wait since McLaurin kicks off in about 30 minutes. That's a tough one, Tommy. I'm just big on McLaurin this week. I think he has a big week. I'm starting him in our league, and he'll actually take the place of probably either Calvin Ridley or someone along those lines. So I am big on McLaurin this week. Kupp, though, if you've been waiting on him, it's tough to sit a guy like that. You know what I mean?
You got to sit him. I think you got to sit him.
Yep. Lee says, yeah, I'm a Steelers fan. Let's not talk about that. Well, fair enough. We'll move on from that. Next, the next impact play, we're just going to give it to the Lions. I mean, it's been a long time since you saw them do that to Green Bay. And yes, they've beaten Green Bay, but Green Bay's owned that division for so long. And they came in and Goff threw a pick right away. And you're like, oh no, like what's going on here? And then they kicked the shit out of the Packers. They ran it down their throat. They threw it all over the field. The defense was great. Monty, even though he can't get more than 3 yards per carry, he had 32 carries, 121 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't know if we need to stay on this, but I just wanted to point out the Lions because they just whooped the Packers.
So the Lions, when you think Lions, you're thinking high-flying offense, shit defense, right? Pretty much.
Yep.
From last year. Bro, their defense, if you want to go yards allowed per game, they were top
defense
5.
Is solid.
They were top 5 defense.
So remember, last year they had the number 2 pick. The Jags botched the pick. They took Trayvon Walker first. They overthought it. Hutchinson was the pick all along. Aiden Hutchinson, absolute stud. Then this year in the second round, everyone was worried about the Lions because they took a running back in Gibbs, like 11th or 12th overall. Then they took a linebacker at like 16, the kid from Iowa. But what people didn't realize is in the second round, they got an absolute steal. It's Brian Branch. He's a safety from Alabama, and he's an absolute stud. Bucks have been Lee is a fucking fortune teller. Let me tell you that, because what's next in our impact players? Well, they're actually 2 away, but why don't we go to them? Baker Mayfield is next on our impact players. Lee just crushing it here. 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 pick. I mean, it begs to bring up a question, but I mean, Tom Brady from last year or Baker, like, how is Baker Mayfield this much better than Brady was? Brady was terrible, if you don't remember.
Yeah. So Baker's always had that talent, but he never seemed to be able to put it together. His accuracy has been off, but this year it's not looking so bad.
He looks great. They're 3-1, huge surprise. Next impact player, we've got Puka Nacua. 39 catches in 4 games, breaks the record by 9 catches. Anquan Bolden had the record before at 30. So shout out to Puka. We'll see if he can keep it up when Cooper Kupp comes back. Obviously, he's not going to have the same volume, but I still think he's going to be a really solid wide receiver and probably a wide receiver 2, borderline flex for fantasy. And then last, my question to you, Nick.
Yeah.
Can Christian McCaffrey win the MVP this year? Is it possible that a running back is going to win the MVP this year?
I think he'll get Offensive Player of the Year. I don't think he's going to get MVP.
20 rushes, 106 yards, 7 catches, 71 yards, 4 total touchdowns. The guy is on pace for so many yards and so many touchdowns. He looks like LaDainian Tomlinson. The reason I asked you that question, because I looked it up before, and we talked about MVP odds a little while ago. Christian McCaffrey currently on my site is 15-1 to win the MVP. I personally, before the season, sprinkled a little $50 bill on him at 85-1.
Okay.
So you can do the math. We're about 40, a little bit over $4,000 if he hits that. So I'm hopeful. I mean, they never really give it to a running back. I think for a running back to get it, none of these quarterbacks have to be perfect. Josh Allen has to have more games like he did against the Jets. Mahomes has to have more games like he did against the Jets, funny enough. Tua has to probably, not play a full season. But, it's
even Purdy on his own team, he's going to get.
No, Purdy's garbage. He's
What's his odds?
I see Biedick on the stage here. I don't know Purdy's odds, but Purdy, they'll never give Purdy MVP over. I don't think he can get it over McCaffrey. I don't. McCaffrey's the guy on that team. At least to me. I'll look it up while you jump into the marquee matchups.
Yeah, he has opportunities. He has the ball in his hand, so he's going to get the Christian McCaffrey touchdown, running touchdowns. He's going to get the receiving touchdowns. He's going to get Ayuk. He's going to get Debo. He's going to get Kittle.
Yeah, they're both 15-1. They're both 15-1.
In that case, McCaffrey's a better buy. Is it the better buy if they?
No, if they're equal, I guess Purdy's the better buy. But like I said, I have him at 85-1, not 15-1. So,
shout out to you. So, first marquee matchup.
Yes, give it to us. Well, hold on. Impact players: Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud, Lions, Puka, Baker, McCaff. Give us the first marquee matchup. We're back in London town.
Yes. So we're over from Wembley to Tottenham, and we've got the Jags versus the Bills. Bills minus 5.5. The total has been bet up. No, sorry, it hasn't been bet up. It's 48.5. Let me double check if it's been bet up. Why did I think it was 51 in my head?
No, I think it's still 48.5. Yeah, 48.5. I got it here. I just pulled up the line, so I have them all here if we need them. Bills minus 5.5. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So the Jags stayed out in London. They did switch hotels, but it's still sort of an away game. Maybe you got a point of value for their not traveling and not having to adjust to a time zone. The Bills just coming off a season-defining win, so sometimes that affects teams and they don't really show up the next week, especially now we're in London, which can be, but at the same time, the Jags showed up last week for the first time basically all season. So are they also coming off sort of some of that high? So
this game's a rat to me. This is an absolute rat. Everyone will have the Bills in a teaser. Everyone. And my thing is just don't bet the London games. Just let London go. Enjoy it, watch it. Don't bet it because funky things happen in London and everyone, it's 65% of the bets, 65% of the money is on the Bills right now. And it just feels like a rat line. Obviously, when I look at this game, I think, the Bills are going to kill them. The Bills are the best team in the NFL right now after last week. How are they not going to win this game? Or best team in the AFC. How are they not going to win this game? Well, who knows, right?
Yeah, that's true. I did end up taking them in that pre-1 p.m. teaser. I put Bills to plus.
Exactly. Half. Every sucker and their mother's going to have them in a teaser. Just like you, the teaser king.
I think a teaser, they're safe. I don't know if they're going to cover the 5.5.
Dynasty trade, Waddle or Cup? That's not even close, Tommy. Waddle's like 23 or 24 and Cup's like 50.
And just blew a hammy for like a month, so.
He pulled something else, bro. I think he pulled his dick or something. That ain't just a hammy. He did something weird. What is going on with Cup? Let's see if he comes back this week and he's perfectly fine. Then I'll stop. But in Dynasty, it's easy Waddle. He's young. Not even close. All right, next matchup, division matchup. Let me just make sure the line is still the same. I believe it is. Ravens -4. It's still -4?
Yeah, but it's -15.
Yep. Ravens -4 at Pittsburgh. Another divisional matchup in the AFC North. The over-under ticked up a little. It's 38 even. This is a tough game because the Ravens arrow pointing up, Steelers arrow pointing down. What happens in these games, these divisional games? It always seems to be a 3-point game between these two teams. I think a lot of people will be betting the Ravens, and I think Mike Tomlin will coach these guys up. And if I was leaning one way, I would lean towards the home dog in an AFC North matchup. What do you think about this game, Nick?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. In these, I typically would just take the home dog +4. Lamar just busted the last team's ass throwing the ball 19 times that game. Yeah, pause. But the thing is, he scrambles great. The Steelers' defense is one of the worst in the league. They're bottom 3. So I think the Ravens bury them. To be honest, I'm not going to bet that game because
Because it's
-4.
a sucker bet. That's why.
I'm not going to bet the game, but like I think the Ravens bury them. It's not even close.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Next game we have, funny enough, this Rams team they're just surprising people. We got the Eagles, and it seems like they're the same line every week, -4.5. They're sticking them in this Vegas zone at the Rams. Over under is a clean 50. Like you said in the notes, Jalen Hurts looked pretty good last week. They started slow. The Commanders always seem to play them well. Epic comeback win. A.J. Brown's a dog. Devontae Smith, dog. DeAndre Swift somehow is just crushing right now. And the defense looked bad, though. I will say that. The Commanders diced them. Sam Howell diced them up. Eric Bieniemy, incredible. One of the best offensive coordinators in the league already. He dialed some stuff up. He looks like Andy Reid Jr. He learned from the best. They absolutely diced up Philly, who has one of the better defenses in the league. This is going to be a tough game, though. The Rams are playing really well. You think Cooper Kupp's probably going to be back? They'll limit his snaps. What do you think here, Nick?
Yeah, so the Rams have not looked like the team that we thought they were going to be. Both these teams. I was talking about the Eagles there because we thought the Eagles were going to be even better. They're not a bad team at all. The Rams as well have not looked like the team we thought they were going to be. We thought they're going to be horrible, and they've actually played pretty decent. That being said, I did definitely bet the Eagles at -4. I think the Eagles' defensive line is going to eat up the offensive line of the Rams. They got one guy that's dinged up. Other guys that just kind of came back from injury. I think they had like 3 guys down at some point, I think week 2. And on top of that, I do believe Matt Stafford is dinged up as well. He's off the injury report, but he had some contusion, some bone contusion. And I think if the Eagles get that pressure on him, -4 should be good. So I landed with the Eagles.
I like it. All right. 2 more games. Chiefs at Vikings. Chiefs -4. Over under 53. This game, I don't know what to think of this game. The Chiefs played so weirdly on Monday night. Maybe that Jets defense is just super legit, but Mahomes threw a couple picks. He should have had more. It was really weird. They got saved by a call at the end. Lone bright spot.
Not a huge line difference, but the Chiefs are cheap -3.5 now, and the Eagles are -4. Yeah.
I think a lot of sharp bettors are going to be on the Vikings here, actually. Lone bright spot for the Chiefs. Yeah, the sharps are going to be. I'm telling you.
The Vikings defense is so bad.
Exactly. This line should be 7. This line doesn't make sense either. Yeah. Pacheco, lone bright spot. He's been dominating even against a great Jets defense. He looked awesome. You're leaning Chiefs clearly then, right?
Yeah, I bet the Chiefs. I don't know if I'm going to give that out as a pod pick, but I bet the Chiefs -3.5. I think this is going to be light. The Vikings, they're running with our old dude. What's his name?
Brian Flores.
Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator. What does he like to do? He likes to blitz, and he does it often. When you give Andy Reid that telegraph that he knows what you're doing, he has time to prepare. He's a creative mind. I like the Chiefs and Mahomes -3.5 against the Vikings.
I think I'm going to bet Minnesota now. I think I'm just going to dodge you. Did you just make that bet live?
Shred City.
Oh, no, the sharp, and I just looked at it. Sharp money's on Minnesota. Last matchup of the week. Cowboys at Niners. The best matchup. Sunday night football. 2 of the 3 best teams in the NFC. Rematch from the playoffs the last 2 years where the Niners just shit down the Cowboys' throat, knocked them out of the playoffs. They own them. They're -3.5 at home. Over-unders 45. What you thinking, Nick?
I'm thinking that the Cowboys are in trouble. The 49ers are just looking like a machine. Their defense is solid, and their offense is just tearing people up. I think they have the second defense in the league. No, they don't have the second defense in the league. I'm looking at, So the Cowboys actually have the second defensive league. Micah Parsons a little banged up. He got banged up on a play towards the end of the game there. We obviously know about the cornerback is down, the big name. Not that he was necessarily that impactful of a player.
He was. Trayvon Diggs was super impactful.
Super impactful. Well,
yep, he was awesome.
He's out for the season. So 49ers, I think they handle this one easily. I don't have a bet in this game, but I think the 49ers are easy.
Cowboys win the game probably. I love the Cowboys. Rode with them last year. Heartbreak every year with them. Cowboys, maybe they don't win the game, but I think they cover it. They always play that. It's always a close game. So I would, if I had to take the game, I'd take the Cowboys and the points.
Is Kittle going to do anything from EJ?
Kittle probably not. I mean, when you don't have a great quarterback, it's tough to do much. Brock Purdy just, he's a one read guy. It's McCaffrey, it's Ayuk, and while I'm talking shit about Purdy, we bring in the number one Purdy man himself, Mr. Biedick, the prop god, coming off a 2-2 week that felt like it was going to be 4-0. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great. Honestly, there's a great energy in the pod tonight. We've got people in the chat commenting.
The chat's blowing off.
Yeah, we've got Bean glowing after his week last week. And then we've got Nick dropping stats left and right. He's on his game tonight. So I'm happy to be back, boys.
And before we get started, I know I said some things during this podcast that got you going backstage. I saw you. We got to talk about Eric Bieniemy. All right, we got to talk about this guy. All right, we have to. He's a budding offensive coordinator. He's coming from Andy Reid's downline. The Commanders look incredible on offense. Why do you hate him?
All right, great little story time. Back when I graduated college, my first job was working as a football operations assistant for the Buffs, one of the worst college football teams of all time. We were, I think, 1-10, and our one road win was in overtime at Washington State. And do you know who the offensive coordinator on that team was, Bean?
Tell us.
Eric Bieniemy.
Is that the air raid offense? What offense is that?
Oh, this was like a no raid offense. We could not put up any points. This guy in practice was just screaming at these college kids, throwing his clipboard. Here's another great one. There was this recruit who was a running back / wide receiver out of high school. And
I already know who it is.
Yeah, part of my job is going through tape, trying to find the best high school kids. So one of the guys that I really wanted, and a couple of us in the staff really wanted, Christian McCaffrey. That's who this guy was. And we thought we had a shot at him because he grew up in Colorado. His dad played for the Broncos. So I remember there was – I'm not going to say Eric Bieniemy, but there was a part of the staff that said, what are we doing looking at a white running back? He's never going to make it.
Fair.
Yep. So, this is – I don't want to be taking shots at Bieniemy here. He is a buff. He was on the 1990 national championship team, but – I think there's a reason this guy hasn't got a head coaching job, and I think I've seen it behind the scenes.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. I think he looks fantastic personally. We know we disagree on this subject. Time will tell, But as a buff, I just feel like you got to support buffs,
Yes, go Buffs. All I have to say about that.
Go Buffs. All right, so. We went 2-2 last week, but let's be real. You went 2-2, but you won because the prop that everyone dumps their life savings on, the Brandon Aubrey prop, it hit again. So that was your best bet of the week. We knew. So you still won. You were 2-2, but your best bet won again.
Yeah, guys, we're 4-3 on the season, and it just feels like we could be 5-2, 6-1.
7-0.
We're not even close to 3-4, but yeah, we've had a couple unfortunate breaks. Brock Purdy last week, we needed him to throw for 2 touchdowns. He scored 2 touchdowns. He rushed for 1 and threw for 1.
You can't put your faith in Brock Purdy, though. He's garbage.
Yes, and also he threw a pass to Christian McCaffrey for a touchdown that went slightly backwards, so it was given a rushing touchdown.
That was a throw. I will hand up. That was a throw. That didn't go backwards. That was bullshit.
He fired it, 7 yards down the line, right into his hand. So, to be fair, this is exactly what Bean and I predicted, that these are the touchdowns, the dump offs. He's not throwing 40-yard fades. These are how Brock Purdy gets his touchdowns. And we again couple bad breaks, but we're feeling great. We're above 500. We haven't had a losing week, so
4-3 on the season, 2-2 last week. Tell us what you have cooked up this week.
I got a few cooked up this week. So earlier today, I was texting with Nick and Bean, and I said, "Yeah, guys, I've got one kicking that I really like, but I'm struggling to find some picks." And Nick said, "You don't have to take kicking props. You can take something else." And I didn't respond, but I just wanted to say to Nick, we're not taking kicking props because they're sexy. We're taking them because they've been winning.
They're gross, but it doesn't matter how gross they are if they win.
Hey, winners are winners, man.
Exactly. So our first one, it's going to be a familiar bet. It's one of these over 1.5 field goal bets. And this week it's going to be Harrison Butker. Over 1.5 field goals for Harrison Butker. This is
Nick. What team's he on? I'm kidding.
Yeah, everyone knows Butker. He's the Chiefs kicker. They're playing at Minnesota. So we always talk about the checklist. We've got great weather. We've got an accurate kicker. He's 8 for 8 on the year. He's one of the best in the league. We've got a good offense with the Chiefs. And then we have a team we don't expect to have to go for it on 4th downs. We think they're going to be winning this game. They're going to be able to take their points. So Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goals. That's the first one.
Beautiful. No relation to Dick Butkus, RIP, just passed away. I mean, now that I just said that, I think if you don't have it in a bet, you might have to sprinkle Bears money line tonight, or is it too late? The game's starting. But, oh, shit, it's 8:17, so we're maybe too late on that.
Right now. Who doesn't have the live betting these days,
That's true. Good point.
And this is why you got to join the live Nick and Bean broadcast. This is what you get when you join live.
Touche. All right, so Butker over 1.5, classic prop god prop. What do you got next?
Next, we're going to go Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. So sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, I was saying, okay.
Yeah. We've got the Lions playing at home against the Panthers, and it's a huge, huge, huge deal that this game is at home and in the Dome. So last year, Jared Goff threw for 23 touchdowns at home. That's great. He threw for 6 touchdowns on the road. He's a completely different guy playing in Detroit versus on the road.
Yeah.
Last season, he had 2 touchdowns or more in 8 out of 9 home games. He hit this bet. On the road, he hit it 1 out of 8 times. So Jared Goff at home, over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And this is one I can see us taking a few more times down the road when the Lions get these home games.
Yeah, I like
Love
that
it.
one. Definitely so one of my checklists when I'm betting Jared Goff and the Lions, is he at home and is he going to be under pressure? He's a completely different guy if the answer to those questions are yes or no.
Real
Love
quick
that.
before Beat keeps going, Tommy, appreciate you saying the interface looks dope. Nick worked hard on that. EJ says the Washington football team is wearing their Steelers jerseys. Yeah, those aren't the best. We got someone else saying Lions will cover -10. That's a big number.
That's huge. I can do that.
That's a big number. Jamison Williams is going to be playing. Lee agrees, saying that they're going to cover the -10. It's a big
Maybe,
number in the
or-
NFL.
or
I know the
maybe
Panthers
they-
suck. All right,
Panthers-
so yeah, the
Go ahead,
Panthers
sorry.
are.
Sorry
Yeah.
for stealing it from Prop God.
No, you're good.
Oh.
You're good. It's
Your show right now, Kit.
Oh, no, I
Butker-
love it.
Butker,
Yeah, we've got-
Goff, and what do we got next?
All right, here is the fun one, boys. So for our third prop, it's another kicking prop, but this is a different one. I hinted in week 2 that we might take this one later in the year, and the time has come. So we're going to take in the Saints at Patriots game that the
This is the
longest-
prop of the week.
Yeah.
This is the prop of the week, baby.
In the Saints and Patriots game, make you tune in.
Yep, and listen to me here. You have this on your books. You just might not know it. Okay, I promise you guys, you have this. So Saints at Patriots is the game. We're gonna take that the longest field goal is under 46.5 yards.
I can see it.
Okay. Let me tell you why. The main reason is that we are expecting a gusty day up in Foxborough at Gillette. So we're supposed to have winds between 15, 20 miles per hour, which is high with 30 mile per hour gusts. Okay.
That's tough.
We've been taking Brandon Aubrey and Jake Moody, 2 rookie kickers that we love. This game has 2 rookie kickers that we hate. Okay. So the Patriots kicker, his name is Chad Ryland. Nick, I don't expect you to know this. I don't even know if I knew this one going into the night.
Who?
Chad Ryland. Okay. He is
Where the hell
from
did they find him? Yeah.
He is from Maryland. All right.
Okay.
And he is 3 for his last 6 field goals.
Oh, goddamn.
On the year, he's kicking at 54%. If this guy has a bad game, I don't even know if he keeps the job for
He's not finishing the fucking season.
yeah. So already we're feeling great. And
Yep.
then Blake Group is the Saints kicker.
Hey.
Grupe. So you could Google that one.
Yeah.
He's a rookie out of Notre Dame. And on the road this year, they've played 2 games at home, 2 games on the road. His longest field goal made is 28 yards.
This is a
All
pro.
right. What?
This is a professional.
This is a professional. Yeah, it will. He hasn't been terrible. He's missed a couple, but part of this bet is about the opportunities. You know,
Like
like
they're not rolling him out there. Or what?
we're banking on there's not going to be many opportunities of field goals longer than 46.5 yards. Maybe one that we get a miss on, but I'd be surprised if we even get an attempt. So
What a dime, Justin Fields, if anyone's watching the game. They already scored on this Commanders D.
Mooney.
DJ Moore, touchdown. Easy
nice.
money.
Like that.
ooh,
Easy money. And back to the prop. I love that prop, the under 46.5. It's my favorite that you're giving out this week. I love all of them, but that prop just has all of the checklists. It's got everything you want, and it's got 2 offenses that don't really move the ball really as well. So it's just got a lot of great things to go with it.
yeah, absolutely. The one thing I'll say about this one is, you know, when we're taking Brandon Aubrey, he's hitting in the second quarter. You know, we're sitting on the couch loving life. When you take these unders, you're
gross.
waiting all game.
Okay.
You know,
You almost
when-
don't watch the game. You don't watch it.
Exactly. So just know that one. I wanted to just drop a couple things. So the reason we're not taking Aubrey this week or Moody is because they're playing each other, and that's supposed to be a windy game as well.
Got it.
I
Okay.
would
I was wondering
never.
why. I was wondering.
That's why. Yeah. Also, you know, I don't really know who's going to be winning that game. We don't. I think there's going to be some opportunity of teams going for it on fourth down. So that's why
Gotcha.
we're staying away.
Well,
Sam
you answered my question.
Yeah. And then Sam Laporta, who I said we're taking every week, he's hit every week. Last week he played on Thursday, so we couldn't take it. This week I can't find his prop, but
I haven't seen it either. It's going to go way up, though. It's probably going to be closer to 52, 53 instead of the 44, 45.
The line isn't posted yet.
So it's 3 this week. It's Butker over 1.5, Goff over 1.5, and under 46 longest field goal, Saints Pats.
Yes. Wow. Great summary there.
This brain, it's working at 70%, but it's still working over here.
Yeah. No, again, you guys are crushing it tonight. You could just feel it's a great energy, and I'm pumped to be a part of it.
Appreciate you, brother. We'll see you next week. As always, Prop God. Peace. All right, Nick. It's time. It's pod picks time. Coming off a 3-1 week, I've got 3 plays for you this week, okay? 2 teasers, actually. I am feeling teasy.
Okay.
First one, Atlanta-Pittsburgh. Like I said, in that Pittsburgh game, I think it's actually you'll get 10 now. But either way, I like Atlanta and Pittsburgh tease. I think Atlanta is going to beat the Texans, but it's going to be close. So we'll take the points. I think I get them to 5.5.
Atlanta.
Let me tell you in 1 second.
Atlanta, you'll get them to plus. You'll get them to like +3, +4. They're -2 right now.
Plus 4.5. The line's changed. So give me a 6.5 point tease. So
Okay.
Atlanta plus 4.5. Steelers will be plus 10.5. Those games are always close. I love this teaser. What do you got, Nick?
My first play is going to be the Chiefs -3.5, -105. I think they run the score up this week.
All right. I hate that pick, but you don't really got to explain it. It's the Chiefs versus fucking Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
so
it's the squarest bet I've placed in a long time.
It's such a square bet. It's so square that I actually have the Vikings in a teaser because all they do is play 1-score games. So I've got a Cowboys-Vikings teaser, okay? Gets both teams to plus 9.5. I think both games are going to be close. The Cowboys and Niners always play close games, even though the Niners always win. And the Vikings love to play 1-score games. So my second pod pick of the week is Cowboys-Vikings teased.
All right, so my second pod pick of the week is going to be the New England Patriots, New Orleans Saints under 39.5. Like Beedick said, it's going to be a windy game. The Patriots offense can't put anything together. The New Orleans Saints. What?
Facts.
The New Orleans Saints defense is pretty solid. The New Orleans Saints offense has a few weapons, but Derek Carr is hurt.
He looks bad. He looked really bad last week.
They're getting Kamara back. We'll see how it looks. I think he's decent or whatever, but yeah, under 39.5, solid pick in my book.
Before I give my last pod pick, we got the prop god saying we know, Beedick. You can't guarantee winners, but what he will guarantee is solid stats and logic behind them. Usually it works out more often than not. And then we got Fletcher. We got a big trade question here. Should I trade Derrick Henry and Tua for Ramondre Stevenson and Anthony Richardson? I would say no. Say no.
That's a troll. There's no way.
Anthony Richardson's been QB, I think, 2 or 3 on the season. So he is very good, but I would stick with King Henry and Tua. All right, my last pod pick of the week. They looked bad last week, let me tell you, okay? They got stomped by the Lions at home. But Aaron Jones is getting healthy. Christian Watson's getting healthy. And the Vegas Raiders, he already accepted it. Oh, God bless.
Why you asking?
God bless, Fletch. Well, I hope it works out for you, and hopefully it's full PPR if there's any silver lining there. But they got blasted last week, this Green Bay Packers team. But I think it's a great bounce back spot for them. I got -1 on the road. Vegas is in shambles. They are in absolute shambles. I think the Packers get a really big bounce back win this week. So I'll take the Packers -1 on the road in Vegas. The prop god says you got 2 worse players for 2 better players, and you never want that in a trade, do you?
No, that's a losing proposition right there. So my third and final pod pick is going to be the Eagles -4. I like them this week. They've got the advantage in the trenches, and that can really count. I think Matthew Stafford is hurt, like I highlighted on earlier. Cooper Kupp, we're not sure if he's going to even finish the game, what snap count he's going to be on. But Jalen Hurts looked crispy last week. There's some balls that he put out there for AJ Brown that only he could grab.
You all right?
I'm good.
You and Fletch need to talk, because Fletcher says Derrick Henry's ranked 17th in rest of season PPR. Ramondre 6th. I don't. That's crazy. I don't know what rankings you're looking at, but Ramondre is a little banged up on an offense that is dog shit, and Derrick Henry's coming off his best game of the year. So I PPR, it makes him a little closer, but I mean, for me, I'll take Derrick Henry. But
yeah.
Hey, you already took the trade, so you got to look at the positives. The positives are better days are ahead for Ramondre, and Anthony Richardson might be an absolute stud, right?
Yeah, the positive is it can't get any worse for Ramondre because his offense isn't scoring points.
Yeah. And then, look, we got a little back and forth. I love what's going on in the chat here. Beedick says Henry's the only running back that gets better as the year goes on. True. And Fletcher just gave himself – he's looking at Fantasy Pros. Let me tell you, Fletcher, Fantasy Pros, ESPN rankings, Yahoo rankings, any of these sites, they're ass. They're garbage. Tune in to our show. Ask us the questions. We will tell you what's the real thing. Those guys don't know what they're doing. That's the truth. So, all right. Do you have another pick or what?
No, so I was going to give you a summary of my picks. It's going to be KC.
Give me a summary, please.
KC -3.5, the under 39.5 in New Orleans Pats, and Eagles -4.
Beautiful. Yep. Prop God over Fantasy Pros. I've got Atlanta Pitt teaser, Cowboys Vikings teaser, Green Bay -1, and let's get into the fantasy corner. Do you have the best segment in history? Is it here?
I've got the best segment in history, and it's called Questions for the Dean.
Let's go.
So the first question is, do you think Jaleel McLaughlin is going to be worth an ad? So we've got Javonte Williams with the hip
flexor. You got some
injury.
Noise in the background, just so you know.
Okay, yeah, we got. I'm not going to be able to deal with that for now. I would make more noise making the noise go away.
Got it. All right, let's wrap quickly then, because I can't stand it.
Okay, so we've got Jaleel McLaughlin. Is he worth an ad? We've got Javonte Williams with that hip injury, maybe on the same side as the ACL. What do you think? He looked explosive last week.
He's worth an ad, but he's not worth what people are paying for him in these leagues. I've seen like 30, 40, 50% of fab. He's got a terrible matchup this week. And Javante's already coming back. I mean, he's already practiced today, so he could even play. It might have been a waste of fab. He's got some talent, though, but I don't think you should spend I think the spending was a little crazy.
Yeah, I probably overspent. I spent 57 out of 150, so a little over 30.
Yeah, that's too much.
All right, so next question. Alvin Kamara or Joe Mixon?
Kamara. I think Kamara is the guy in here. He looked like, he had like 100 catches last week for like 10 yards, but he still had 100 catches. Offense runs through him. I think the Bengals are just, and don't get me wrong, both these guys are solid running backs. If I ranked them rest of the season, they're probably both fringe RB1s. Probably right in that 13 to 15 range, but I'd give the slight edge to Kamara. Wouldn't be mad to have either of these guys on my team.
All right, and that wraps up the best segment of the show, Questions for the Dean.
That's all you had?
Yeah. That had
All
a
right.
third question, but it was a Thursday night guy.
By the way, last week in our, because I always enter both our FanDuel lineups. Last week, I almost won the whole thing that we were in. We do the $9 125K rush. I finished 20th out of 17,000
Jesus Christ.
for 200, only for $250 though. So we had, it's bullshit. Bullshit. I know. I had Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, AJ Brown, Cole Kmet. We had a monster lineup. So, and guess what? I feel this lineup I put together this week is gonna just fucking go nuts. So
it's week 5. Am I down 3-1?
Yeah, you're down 3-1. You actually put up like 130 last week, but I had 193.
Tough.
So I'm stacking this week. I've got Tua at quarterback. I think he's got such a high ceiling this week. I've got Bijan Robinson. This is the breakout week, I think. And I got Jahmyr Gibbs. Amon-Ra is a little bit hurt. There's some uncertainties there, and I think he's going to get a nicer workload this week. So Tua, Bijan, and Jahmyr Gibbs, give us your start.
All right, so I've got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. I think they destroy the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've got Isaiah Pacheco coming off that monster week against a whack defense in Minnesota. I've got Devon Achane. I'm not sure how he pronounced it.
Achane.
I've got Devontae Smith, Adam Thielen, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers stacked with Lamar. Then I've got Tutu Atwell and the New Orleans Saints defense against the whack-ass offense of the New England Patriots.
Oh, beautiful. You fired it all off. I love it. Fletch, by the way, I like Ramondre a lot too. I still think he's a really good fantasy running back. It's just Derrick Henry. So it's tough to pull that trigger. But hey, you can't go too wrong with Ramondre. I mean, he's still a really good running back. So, all right, let me finish it off, and I'll read my whole thing through. So Tua, Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, we're really stacking. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, both. And then I got Jordan Addison, bounce back week. Sam Laporta, tight end, best value you can get. Isaiah Pacheco, and then I went super cheap on the defense again. I'm going to stick with this Carolina defense. They had a pick 6 last week. They seem to make plays. They got Brian Burns. They got Jeremy Chin. They got some players on that team. So that's my FanDuel for the week. We got anything else, or are we wrapping?
That's it, man.
I want to shout out to the chat this week. Fletcher, Brendan, Prop God, Tommy, Lee, BX Damone, EJ, Mike. I mean, this was the Romy Rome. Like, we appreciate you guys. Come in the chat. We'll answer all the questions. We'll interact with you. And that's what we got this week.
Salute.
Peace.